The idea that technology makes society inherently better is a complete myth. Technology changes the way we do everything, and more often than not, these changes come with unintended consequences, despite appearing to make life better for us. In the words of Henry David Thoreau, most of the luxuries and many of the so called comforts of life are not only indispensable, but positive hindrances to the elevation of mankind. And it's not just Thoreau who says this. Many people have been sounding the alarm. In his book, Civilized to Death, Christopher Ryan, no relation to me, he says, the pursuit of material wealth and technological progress has come at a great cost to our mental and physical health, our relationships with others, and the natural world. With each new technological shift comes an onslaught of unintended consequences. And we are currently at the beginning of a new technological shift, with AI increasingly becoming a part of our daily lives. And so we can expect many undesired effects as a result. Now, the good news is that technology like AI is not necessarily all bad if it's used strategically to live a more intentional and a more focused life that positions you to survive the future as the world continues to decline. Because in the next 10 or so years, things will change a lot. And I would be lying to you if I knew exactly what the future has in store. I mean, nobody knows that, but we can look at historical trends over the past 100 years or so to predict what may happen in the future. And in the past century, human health has deteriorated rapidly as modern society has advanced. Technological advancements have rendered previously high demand skills virtually obsolete. And so it stands to reason that two of the most likely problems that we will face in the future as technology continues to proliferate is the continued decline of human health, along with shifting economic tides that create job insecurity, even for some of the most highly educated and highest paid professions out there. So doctors, lawyers, middle managers in corporate America, this means you. Nobody is safe. So if you stick around to the end of this video, then I'm going to show you exactly how to position yourself to thrive in a world where health problems and economic insecurity will affect most people. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how you can future-proof your life by using the power of artificial intelligence. But before we get into the AI, we need to frame the problem so that we know what to solve for in the first place. So I have done a lot of thinking about this issue. I've published many essays about this, and I've come up with 5 key skills that I believe are absolutely necessary for everyone to learn if they want to survive the future. And if you nail these 5 key skills down, then you'll have more ability to live life on your own terms while everyone else is suffering because they weren't thinking ahead. So first and foremost is mastery over the mind and body. Being physically capable, being psychologically stable, being cognitively sharp is going to be more important than ever moving forward. Technology has significantly lowered the work requirement for life. We use our cognitive skills and our bodies far less today than we did just 100 years ago. And the adoption of technology, it encourages us to be physically and cognitively sedentary. This is why over 70% of Americans are overweight or obese, and the human attention span is dropping precipitously. And this is most likely going to continue. So people who remember to first maintain their minds and their bodies, they're going to be better prepared to navigate the world 10 to 20 years down the line. And the second future-proof skill is dopamine management. We live in an increasingly distracted world. There are endless options for entertainment, for indulging in instant gratifications, for doing things that generally don't align with your grand vision for life. Being focused and navigating distractions ultimately comes down to being able to manage your dopamine, because dopamine is the driving force behind many of the impulsive decisions and bad habits that tend to hold us back. So implementing lifestyle alterations with the intention of getting control over your dopamine is a vitally important step in protecting yourself from a future that's likely to be far more distracting than things already are today. So control your dopamine, control your life. The third skill is storytelling. Humans have used storytelling for as long as we've had the ability to speak. And it's literally the original form of teaching and communicating important information. And we enjoy music, books, poetry, plays, movies because we are hardwired to be captivated by stories. So being able to tell stories is a skill that has passed the test of time and likely will continue to be invaluable because it gives you the power of influence. So learn the art of storytelling and you have access to one of the most valuable assets in the world, which is other people's attention. And this is a good segue into the fourth skill for future-proofing yourself, which is writing. If storytelling is the best method for captivating and influencing, then writing is the medium for telling your story. Stories used to be told through oral tradition, which has its limitations. But writing enables people to externalize ideas. Behind every classic movie is a script. Behind every business, every product, every advertisement, every website was first built on a foundation of writing. It cuts across every industry and every facet of life. Now, the final future-proofing skill is online business. Business is just a mechanism for turning ideas into income. You can do this in many ways, but the fastest and the most accessible way to do this for most people is by using the internet, which enables you to communicate your knowledge to any of the 6 billion people that's plugged into the network and then deliver products or services to them anywhere at any time and at the speed of light. So being able to turn your ideas into income through the internet is a must-have skill going into a future where we just don't know what's going to happen, especially with globalization and artificial intelligence and industry consolidation, all the other things that are beyond our control. So having the ability to leverage your knowledge independent of the system is not only how you protect yourself from economic insecurity in the future, but it's also the key that unlocks your freedom in general. Now, the goal is to upskill fast and become proficient in these 5 key domains of life. But instead of just, haphazardly trying to pick up these skills, you can use AI to approach it in a structured and a methodical way. And if you want to use AI, you must first know your purpose and your vision. And I go over how to do this extensively in the self-reinvention cheat code. So I encourage you to pick up a copy if you do need it, but do whatever you must to discover your purpose, because it is the single most important step. And there's no amount of AI that's going to save you if you don't get this part right. Okay, so now that we've cleared that up, let's go over the AI workflow that you can use to future-proof your life. Now, this workflow, it consists of 4 different prompts, and I want to walk you through how I structured it. Now, you can use ChatGPT for this, but in this example, you may notice that I'm using Cerebrix, which is my custom GPT that I fed hundreds of my own essays into for much more pointed and structured responses that you simply will not get using standard ChatGPT. And with Cerebrix, you'll also get lifelong access to my database of AI prompts, including the full and unedited version of this exact prompt that I use for this video. So you can just copy and paste it with no extra work. Now, with that said, you can't just ask AI to show you how to become future-proof. That is intellectually lazy at best. And you owe it to yourself to build a customized solution that makes sense for you and your unique set of circumstances. So the first step is to let ChatGPT know about yourself so that it has the basis of information to build from. In the first prompt, you need to instruct it to ask you a few questions about your vision, your values, what it is that you want in life, and then have it help you create a 1-year goal that will inform your learning plan. The more that ChatGPT or Cerebrix knows about you from the beginning, the better it'll help you in the back half of this exercise. So make sure that you write your prompt in a way that'll capture the direction that you want to take your life, then have it summarize it all in very simple terms. So my prompt for the first step looks like this. and it triggers a series of questions, which then goes on to produce two outputs. The first being a summary of my vision for life, as well as a few synthesized goal statements that I can select from to help it to get a better idea of who I am. And then it rolls everything up into a summary so that I can use the information later on. Now, for the next step, you need to have AI to help you identify your strengths, because that's what's going to feed directly into your unique value proposition. You have specific life experience that makes you stand out from the crowd. There are certain things that you understand that most people simply don't. And so you need to spend time identifying these things, because this is what you're going to leverage to add unique value to other people's lives. So to do this, you'll create a prompt that'll get AI to inquire about your work experience, your hobbies, and topics that you just, you find really interesting and really fascinating. And so here's the prompt that I use to do this. And as an output, it summarizes everything to capture the essence of who you are and which elements of your life you should really be tapping into to build a future-proof skill set. Now, for the third step, you'll want to figure out how your vision for life, your strengths, your interests, how that can all be combined to create a unique value proposition that'll solve a very particular problem for people, specifically through online business. So yes, having a vision is good. Knowing your strengths is great. Having hobbies and different things that you're interested in is, that's amazing. But these things alone will not move the needle forward. You need to combine it all in a way that actually works to produce the desired result. So from here, you should create a prompt that instructs AI to take all of the information that you just gave it and assess it across the 5 core future-proofing skills that we talked about earlier in this video. And then to output a list of, say, 20 or so online business models that you could leverage to solve a major problem for people. And you can even take things a bit further and write your prompt in a way to help you drill down on one business model that is best for you, and then produce a detailed outline of that business, how to generate revenue, the mechanisms that you'll use to deliver value, and so on. And so here's the prompt that I created for this. And you can see that this produces an output of suggested business models, followed by a process of narrowing down until I get to a single business model with details about marketing, about growth strategy, retention, and other, important information pertaining to the business. And this leads me to the final step, which is to use AI to build a skills roadmap that future-proofs your life. What health and fitness practices are going to put you in the right frame of mind and body to effectively implement your future-proofing plan? How will you manage your dopamine to kill bad habits and build better ones that'll support your goals? What is the most effective form of storytelling that you will need to learn to connect with people who may become your customers or your clients? What style of writing will you use as a foundation for your communication? And lastly, what are the highest impact online business skills that are necessary to successfully implement the business model that you have chosen to create? You want to write a prompt that answers all of these questions in a way that makes sense for you and what you are specifically trying to accomplish. So here's the prompt that I used to produce an output of suggestions for specific ultra high impact applications within each of the 5 skill areas that I need to focus on perfecting. And I wrote the prompt in a way that enables you to choose the suggestion that is most aligned with your goals. And then it'll give you a detailed 12-month roadmap for building these skills and future-proofing your life. Now, you can have your prompt take things a bit further and give you specific learning resources or suggest different hyper learning techniques. And, it's really up to you to build the functionality that you need to create a structured approach for future-proofing your life. Or if you get access to Cerebrix, you can just use these exact prompts that I've created specifically for this exercise. So now at the end of this, you can see that I have a detailed plan for learning relevant skills that I will need in the future. And this is how you learn fast and future-proof your life with the help of artificial intelligence. And quick reminder that if you are trying to level up and you're really trying to change your life, then you can also book a consultation directly with me, or you can pick up a copy of the Self Reinvention Cheat Code. Links to everything are in the description below. And if you found this message helpful, then be sure to share it with a friend. And that's all that I have for you today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the message. And until next time, always remember to get up, get out, and get after it. Peace.